thinking tools versus making tools, right?
Yeah.
The IDE was historically a making.
Is I hope more companies will stay small, and I
Yeah.
think the founders of this generation realize that, like they want,
Yeah.
like the stock is down, and like are you gonna survive?
Yeah.
And I feel like the jury's out there. Like it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like all the designers are still on Figma, but like as a designer, you kind of need to learn how to vibe code. Otherwise, you're gonna
Yeah.
like if you don't know how to do Figma,
Yeah.
like you're probably gonna be like out of date in
You
a
know
couple
what
of
though?
years. Yeah,
My counterpoint to that is that I think that I've thought a lot about the sort of thinking tools versus making tools, right?
yeah,
The IDE was historically a making tool.
hmm
It's a place for execution. I think it's migrating away from that.
mm,
And now with execution going to zero, I think these sort of like multi-agent, next gen IDEs, a
yeah,
lot of them are about trying things and using the trial and error as a way to inform your thinking.
yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of times I'll just build a feature in a really naive way and I'll hammer the coding agent until it works.
hmm
Then I'll say, hey, write all the things that you would have done differently. And I'll go back to the initial point and redo it.
mm,
So I wonder if, and I think Figma actually does both. I think it's a place for design execution, but it's also an important place for design thinking.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's their opportunity to be highly relevant in the new stack.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But I think A16Z has like you guys investing Pencil or something? Pencil.dev?
Speedrun did, yeah.
Yeah, speedrun
Hmm.
and like yeah, Figma needs to like level up its AI tooling because like watching these agents collaborate with you and like do stuff is like
Yeah.
very very interesting.
I know it's top of mind for them.
Yeah.
What do you think are the most under discussed capabilities of coding agents? What's underhyped and maybe what's overhyped as well.
This is probably not underhyped, but I feel like entrances that software will eat the world. I feel like coding will eat all knowledge work, right? And we're
Yeah,
kind of going that direction already. Like I think Lovable recently launched like today
yeah,
that they can support everything and
yeah,
Replit can make decks.
yeah,
So so and I feel like everyone's chasing this. Like and Anthropic is probably in the lead,
yeah,
but like like I don't want to use PowerPoint anymore. I don't want to like write
yeah,
like I hate writing Google Docs, dude. Like that's my entire life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we all
So
do.
like
Yeah,
but the other day I was writing my blog post and instead of just like typing it out, I was
yeah,
like, hey, let me just use Cloud Code and like let me give you a bunch of feedback and you write it for me.
yeah.
And then you
How
just
did
keep
it turn
updating
out?
the um it did the first 80%. The last 20% I still had to manually like go in there and like
Yeah,
tweak stuff.
yeah,
But like that's the way I work now. I
yeah.
never start from zero. Like I always get the first 80% from AI.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. If you look at there are also like historical analogs of this. I think Satya said this, which is that Excel is the most powerful or most popular programming language in the world.
Yeah.
And that it's sort of a programming language that millions and millions, I mean, 100 million plus people must know, maybe
Mhm.
even more. And yet we don't think of it that way. It's a way to sort of describe and solve problems.
Yeah.
And I think coding agents are going to be that, of course, times 1,000,
Yeah.
where even things that feel subjective, like writing Google Docs, can be represented in the coding domain in such a way that it's more satisfying, more productive, more high leverage to use agents to do it.
Yeah, because Excel was like popular because it's super approachable, right?
Yes.
And like coding agents, the code is basically gone. Like it's like abstract away. You're just talking to some agent and getting it to do stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's gonna be huge, huge. Yeah.
What do you think the future company looks like? Is it just a bunch of agents with a CEO? Is the CEO an agent? I mean, what is
Yeah.
the role for people in a company in the future?
Okay. Well, I have some hot takes. So we both worked at some companies together, and
Uh-huh.
let me give you a hot take, man. Maybe we cut this out. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like as a company gets bigger, it tends to get shit. It tends to become like a shittier place to work, dude.
Yeah.
Like because there's like a lot of people you have to
I
align,
think that's axiomatic. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember at maybe I should mention this company, but I remember in our company we used to
Yes.
have all these like OKR meetings, and like I
Yeah.
remember sitting in a room for like 3 hours talking about OKRs. I'm just like, dude, this is like wasting my life.
Yes.
So where I'm going with this is I hope more companies will stay small, and I
Yeah.
think the founders of this generation realize that like they want to
Yeah.
stay as small as possible.
Yeah.
And instead of having like a 10-person product team, you have like a 2 or 3-person product team, and
Yeah.
just have a bunch of agents to help you.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's way easier to cross functional align with the agents than with with humans.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, in a sense, the agents actually, because it takes the emotion out of it too.
Yeah.
Like you can imagine if I sent my agent, you sent your agent to go negotiate something,
Yeah,
and they came out with some conclusion. It's not emotional
it's not.
for
Yeah,
either of us.
it's very
Like,
objective. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that we've been talking a bunch about is like what is the pro case for AI at work in terms of employee experience? And I think it's what you're describing, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you increase the NPS of work?
Yeah.
So if we like go all the way back, or even broadly the NPS of the human experience, right? Like, think of the NPS of the day-to-day human in 10,000 BC when
Yeah.
it's like, just don't get eaten by the lion.
Yeah.
And that's like a good day, right? Or, maybe 100 years ago, it's like, okay, don't get killed at the factory.
Mhm.
Crushed by the steam press or whatever else. And now a lot of it is like, like just don't get sucked into some high emotion,
Yeah.
sort of negotiation with another VP's subordinate.
Yeah, like a 50 message Slack thread going back and forth.
Yeah, which exactly. And then
Yeah.
eventually everyone's like, I don't want to tell the CEO. And eventually it goes there and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
So maybe the future of this is that a lot of that emotional